Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. In this video I want to show everyone on how to create spot height of equal intervals from existing spot height data. So just like what you can see, this is an imported spot height data, raw data from site, and as you can see, it is not at regular intervals, it's just randomly observed. So what I want to show us is how to use the golden software software to make sure it is created and spaced the way you can see on the screen. So you can see this is the same set of data you actually see here, that was irregular to regular, right? So that is what we want to achieve in the course of this video. So first off, come to your spot height data, the original Excel data. Make sure it is well tabulated. So you can see this is the set of data, the raw data for the spot height I have, distance, northings, and elevations. And you close the Excel worksheet. Then you open your software application. So we are going to use the software application to recreate the spot height to be at regular intervals. So you may actually use your recent template if you have a template you always work with before, or you can use any of the frame templates that is available on default, but in this case I'm just going to close and use a default work environment. So when you're on your software application, click on grid data. So you need to go and create a grid data. So in this case now, because we are trying to achieve spot height data that is fitting to a particular shape of your project site. Okay, so you can see I have the perimeter boundary line and you can see the shape. So I want the spot height data to take the shape of my project site. All right, so in this case, when you are creating a grid data, you don't use kriging, you use the natural neighbor. This is going to help you take the shape of your project site. Then you click on browse to navigate to the Excel data. So I have it on my desktop. I'm just going to scroll down and here it is. So you select your Excel spot height data, then you click on open. It's going to appear here. So you can just confirm and cross check to make sure the column A tallies with the eastings, column B with the northings, and column Z with the elevations. Okay, you can also view your data here in case you are confused which of the column is which. All right, then you can now scroll down to click on next. You can see the shape. All right, this is the shape of my spot height data and it is perfectly well imported. Then you click on next, then next. Therefore here, this is where you are going to rename the output grid. Okay, there's nothing to do much here, so you can rename your output grid where you want it to be saved. So it's going to be saved under my desktop anyways, but in case you don't want it to be saved on your desktop, you can click on this change file name folder, then you define the folder where you want your output grid to be saved. I'm okay with the desktop. And if you need your grid report, you can check this, but in my case I don't need the grid report. Therefore, under the new layer type, click on this drop down, and if you want to create contour from the spot height, that is your raw grid data set, you can click on contour. However, in this case, what we want to generate is a spot height. All right, spot height at regular intervals. So you scroll down and click on grid values, select grid values here. When you select your grid values, then you click on finish. Then it's going to create your grid value from your grid data set of your raw spot height data. Then you click on OK. So guys, you can see this is the spot height generated. So I'm just going to show you how to edit all of these data sets to suit what is best fit professionally, right? So that's how to generate the spot height. So let's go ahead to start editing. So for you to edit, you can see that the values of these elevations here is too much, right? So I want it to be 81 point to 2 decimals. All right, just like what you saw on AutoCAD, to 2 decimals. That makes it more professionally, aesthetically pleasing. So you select the grid values here, select that. Then you click on labels. Under your labels, you scroll down to label formats, click on the plus sign there, then you scroll down. So you can see here significant digits, so you just need to reduce it. The more you reduce it will change, it keep changing. So reduce it to what you want. So 4 significant digits is okay. So that's just how to edit the label for the label format. Okay, and you can actually change the symbol. If you don't want this cross, you can use the asterisk. All right, by clicking on symbols, you will see the symbol properties here. All right, and you can see the symbol. So click on this drop down here. So let me just increase the span of this so that we can all see the informations there. Right, so this is the default GSI default symbol. So click on this drop down here and you can see different symbols you can use. So let's go with this looks good. All right, so this is the asterisk, and you can change the color if you want to brown. Okay, so that's just it. So I've changed the symbol and I've changed the color of the symbol for the spot height symbol. Okay, so and next you have to take note, you can come to general. So you can see that this spot height I generated now, you may want to generate more clustered spot height at regular interval by coming, you scroll down to this density. So if I reduce it, you see that it becomes more clustered. I will make it 99, right, both the x and y, so it becomes more. And if I make it 8, it becomes more. So anyone that suits you is what you should make use of. All right, so that is how to create spot height and do your editing. You can choose to increase the font, right, font size, still by under labels, come to the font properties and size point. Another size point, if I click on this up arrow, it increases and it becomes bigger. So if you want it to be bigger, it's fine. All right, so let's leave it as 6. Okay, and the next thing to do is now to export to the DXF AutoCAD format. So you scroll to click on file, then you scroll down to export, click on export, then you click on this save as type, click on the drop down, then you scroll to DXF, that is the AutoCAD format. Here it is, select DXF, then you can rename the file. Note the folder where your spot height DXF file is going into. So I want it to be saved under my desktop, so I'll call this spot data. Then after you rename the file, then you click on save. Then to bring on this dialog box, so under the scaling, come to scaling source, click on the drop down. So if you want it to export all of the page units, all right, you can click on this. That is, if you have your legend and whatsoever, you can click on page units. But if you just want it to be just the map, the spot height data, click on this grid values spot height, that is the map. So I will go with this. Okay, then click on OK. So I'm done exporting to DXF. Then I'm just going to open it on my desktop, and here it is. So if you can't see anything on your screen, click on zoom extent. So therefore it has pop up, and you can now go ahead to delete all of this frame. Just select similar and delete, and all of this. Okay, so this is where you can now go ahead to copy your boundary, and you can now paste to original coordinates. So guys, you can see it is well spaced at regular intervals. So you can go ahead to measure the distance between each if you want to. So I'm just going to measure the distance. I'll set the units, measure the distance to confirm what distance it is. So let's measure the distance and see. Okay, this is 10. All right, 10.3, and let's go this way, 10.36. Okay, so that's just it. So approximately it is 10 meters intervals. So if you still want to make it lower, You can still come under the general to come to density and keep reducing or keep increasing. The more you reduce here, the more it becomes smaller. So from 10 meters intervals, it can turn to 8 meters and so on and so forth. So guys, that is how to create spot height at regular interval from irregular raw data. If you find this video helpful and informative, do well to hit on the subscribe icon as well as turn on your notification to keep getting valuable tutorial fully. If you need templates, specialized design templates for your topographic drafting, do it to email me or join my WhatsApp community to get that. Terms and conditions please apply. Thank you. See you in the next video.